Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Retro Nerds Rewind. I will be your host today, Jamal. Hello out there. And we just have a couple of things to go over before we get started. So I will kick it over to Aaron to fill in our sponsors and then introduce ourselves.
Sounds good. First sponsor I'd like to talk about today is Peoria Championship Martial Arts. That is the actual karate school that uses the Chuck Norris system. Also does a little bit of Krav Maga for adults as well as the kids there. And some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They have that all mixed in together. It's a very well-rounded system. Their special right now for our listeners is $49 for 4 weeks, includes your gi, your uniform, as well as your initial free trial lesson, which is taught to you by the owner and head instructor, Mr. Howard Funding himself. Yes, so he'll go through it, teach you some of the basics, make sure that you're comfortable being out there in front with the group, and even have you break a board on your very first day, just to show you that you have that within you to do it. So feel free to give them a call. Their phone number is 623-486-0970. Schedule that appointment. They're off of 91st Avenue in Peoria, 91st Avenue and Peoria in Peoria, Arizona. And that is the end of mine. Let's head over to Sean for his.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. So, spoiler alert, today we're talking Ninja Turtles. And did you know that Drawn to Comics is the best place to get comics like Ninja Turtles? That's right, Drawn to Comics, located at 59th Avenue in Glendale, deep in the heart of downtown Glendale, is our sponsor. I've been a customer of theirs for longer than I want to admit. I love that store. I love the customer service. I feel special when I walk in the door. And I can't say enough good things about these people. And I'm very, very happy that they are one of our sponsors. So keep listening until the end of the episode. We've got a special discount code for you that you can bring in there, get some Ninja Turtle comics. You can go to drawntocomics.com and learn more about hours and location. That's, again, drawntocomics.com. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Sean. And please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And now it's time to introduce ourselves. I think I kind of flip-flopped that, but hey. So let's start with Cody. You're up first.
Hi, I'm Cody.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
Howdy ho, Nerderinos. I'm Sean.
Thank you, Sean. You're all very enthusiastic nerds. I like it.
It's a great week.
Yes.
It is.
So today on this episode, we'll be talking about the classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1987. And this was Sean's pick, and this is his episode. So I'm going to start with him and kick it over to Sean to explain why you chose this and what it means to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jamal. Not Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutants Ninja Turtles holds a very special place in my heart. When I was a kid, that's all I wanted for Christmas and birthday was Ninja Turtle action figures. I would watch the cartoons. I loved the movies. And yes, I had the cassette recording you got from Pizza Hut for Ninja Turtles. It was one of my most prized possessions until I lost it, unfortunately. But it was Ninja Turtles has always been there. In fact, I don't know, those listening on podcast can't see, but I'm wearing a T-shirt right now in the style of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo that says I'm actually in my 40s, which is one of my favorite shirts for multiple reasons. Aaron, what does Ninja Turtles mean to you?
Ninja Turtles is one of my favorite series growing up as well. Loved it, loved the movies, watched it every week when it was on there. I myself have Ninja Turtles shirts. I'm actually wearing today a jersey I got that has a crossover from one of the animes I thoroughly enjoy, watching with Ninja Turtles. So as you can see, it's a Naruto Ninja Turtles crossover on there. I saw it and just had to have it. It just hit it in all the right places, as people say. But yeah, growing up with it, it was just the thing for me. As I said before in other podcasts, I loved things that were a little on the more violent side. I watched a lot of Japanese movies and kung fu stuffs, and part of that started with watching Ninja Turtles because they were all about ninjutsu and doing all those wonderful things that I wasn't allowed to do. So it was definitely something that is very near and dear to my heart. What about you, Cody?
Well, Ninja Turtles was a little bit before my time.
Baby.
So I never really got into it. It's not my personal favorite. I am obligated to love it because of the man that I am married to. Also, the fact that we own every single movie on Blu-ray 4K as well as the show on Blu-ray 4K does not show how hardcore of a fan he is as well for wanting to watch it,
Don't
especially
forget the
now these days.
VHSs.
He also has the VHSs. But also with all the crossover stuff with other stuff that we both love, such as Power Rangers. I mean, it has such a big, huge history, so how could I not enjoy it personally as well?
What about you,
Yep.
Jamal?
So I'm gonna give you guys a couple little stories here. So Ninja Turtles started off with me first of all, and then I went to Power Rangers. But let's just say my 5-year-old birthday party, and I'll never forgive my mom for this. Got my uncle to dress up as Leonardo. And I'm thinking that an actual Ninja Turtle is coming to my birthday. And no, it was just my uncle in green face paint and an orange bandana and a turtle shell. And I was pissed. And I remember, because I am from California originally, moved to Arizona in 2016. So when Long Beach, California launched the transit system, there was also another horrible VHS that I have of them. The grand opening of that transit system is like the subway and the bus, a new bus system. And here I am thinking that the Ninja Turtles are showing up once again. No, deceived again. It was just people in foam suits, and they were not the Ninja Turtles. And it was the most god awful thing. I implore you to look this video up. It's awful. And they had like some phantom masked menace guy that was the villain, and he had like on this magician cape and a magic wand, and it was like, what the hell is this? Um, but yeah, no, you were talking about the VHS for the Pizza Hut, and I'm gonna have to bring that over because I have it, and we all know the song "I Play Right Field," and he looks up, and before the movie starts, and that brought my love for pizza because man, Domino's was just, even though it was in the movie, I like Pizza Hut more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of a little backstory to my Ninja Turtle start, and of course the cartoon, which we'll be talking about today, and still
guess-
going strong to this day. And we won't talk about those Michael Bay movies.
Yeah. I guess I'm the lucky one then, because I actually got to meet someone in a legit turtle suit at a Monster Jam event here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Nice.
So they had a guy in a Michelangelo suit, and it was a legit suit like they would have used in one of the movies. The guy spent a lot of money to do this, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, he was there. He was signing autographs. He signed my ticket stub, and it's still hanging up at my parents' house. My Michelangelo signed Ninja Turtles ticket stub from the Monster Jam back in I think it was like 1990 or 91. It was after the movie, so it was. But yeah, I'm glad I got at least a good suit.
My
actor,
stepdad did get me Donatello's autograph, the actual black and white photo of the stunt actor without the helmet on, or the
Nice.
Yeah, so he signed that to my name, and that made me happy.
Did any of you guys at Phoenix Fan Fusion last year get the actors' signatures?
I had them sign my whole pizza box of my Blu-ray collection.
Nice.
I met Oprah. Where did that come from?
Wrong podcast. Sorry.
Jeez. I met April O'Neil. And she was such
Judith
a sweetheart.
Hogg.
Judith Hogg. Yes. I don't
I
know
didn't get
where
any-
that came from, though.
I didn't get any signatures, but I did go to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie screening that they had
Nice.
and got some cool, like a cool pin and stickers. And that is about as close as I was able to get to them that year that they were here.
Nice. I got Leo for Andrew on the day Andrew and Elaine went to con with me. Andrew, they each got to pick one person to meet. Andrew wanted to meet Leonardo. And I'm like, okay, let's go. So we got to meet the guy that was in the suit for Leonardo. And he was like all smiles. He loved it. We got a little selfie too with it. So
Nice.
Yep. Proud dad moment, you know? He's like, he wanted to meet a Ninja Turtle. I'm like, yes, let's go meet a Ninja Turtle. Yes. So
Well, Sean, this is your episode, so why don't we dig in and let's rewind?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with a little bit of history about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were created and started in comic form in 1984. The version that was started and created was very dark, very gritty, very black and white, created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, which at the time was actually a parody of superhero comics. In fact, I knew that the main ninja villains that that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, get that right, fight is a parody of the main group that Daredevil fights, which is the Hand. What I did not know and did not realize is that Splinter is also a play on Daredevil, Daredevil's sensei, Stick.
Wow.
Yeah.
oh, the more you know.
The more you know.
It's all coming together slowly.
The 1987 cartoon premiered in 1987. It ran for 10 seasons over 9 years. It was actually the cartoon that introduced the color-coded masks, the love of pizza, and the distinct personalities. They were invented by the cartoon, so that was not present until that time.
Right.
What I did not realize, especially at the time, like I knew the toys existed, but the cartoon was made to promote the toys, not the toys to promote the cartoon, which is actually pretty common for the time. G.I. Joe did it, Transformers did it, He-Man did it.
A lot of cartoons were specifically for just to sell toys.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon did it too. Just saying.
Sailor Moon toys came out before the show did?
Yes.
Wow, I did not know that.
Even the Saban one came out with toys before the show came out.
But
too.
wasn't there manga out before the show?
The manga, yes, but
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
only
so-
in Japan, though.
Right. So I mean, technically, you could. I don't know.
Yeah.
A little different with an anime
Yeah.
process, I
target.
guess. You know. So, anyways, go ahead, Sean.
Thank you, Aaron. That is all the fun facts that I have about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I will not be going into the movies or the follow-up series that they created or anything along those lines, or the video games, like the one that's absolutely impossible on the NES. I won't be going into that today because some of those things are repressed.
I have
But-
the Cowabunga collection, so we could, unlock those memories.
They're repressed for a reason, Aaron.
But you know what's cool?
What's
You
that?
can rewind.
Oh yeah, we can rewind. And speaking of rewind, why don't we rewind and jump in today's episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, episode 1, Turtle Tracks, aired in 1987. How's that sound?
Do it.
Sounds
Sounds
great.
good.
All right, great. We start off with our iconic theme song for Ninja Turtles,
Yes.
TMNT Turtle Power, baby.
Love it.
Yeah. Only the 80s and 90s can bring you expositional intros of cartoons, tell
Yes.
you everything you need to know about what you're about to watch. In the episode, we open up with New York City. Some thugs are, which we see, who will later be Bebop and Rocksteady in their human forms, the rare occurrence where they're actually in their human forms. They take out a crowbar and they beat up a car. There's a dust cloud, and suddenly there's nothing left of the car but the frame. Cartoon logic.
They're so strong, even without the mutagen.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's steel, dude. Detroit steel back in the 90s. Come on. Or 80s, excuse me. 87, that's right. 80s.
We have April O'Neil showing up on screen, giving us the exposition that crime is rampant and that some science equipment has been stolen from a local science building. They go into detail that the theft was done by brute force with ninja weapons, and that ninjas must have committed this crime because, and I'm not kidding here, the rope that they used to tie up the security guard was made in Japan. That is, there's a little sticker on it that said "Made in Japan." I couldn't.
Yeah, that was hilarious to me. You missed there's a little spot where the guy was being interviewed from the science company.
Yeah.
My note here was the guy interviewed must have been a manager because he knew absolutely nothing about the equipment.
Yeah.
What it did. I'm like, oh, he's got to be in management because he don't know shit.
We're also going to gloss over when the thugs were graffitiing the wall, went over the person that was just reading their newspaper, and he proceeded to just walk home.
He just chilled and walked home. Yeah.
He ain't got time for that.
So as April and the news crew are packing up, the same thugs move in looking to send a message from the big boss man. As she runs from the other camera crew, slowly step away, saying they've got things to do. They leave this gigantic, massive camera that April is somehow able to pick up, lift, and throw at the thug. And the dude catches it like it's nothing. Like, if this was real life, that would take him out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But she's able to run from him using this little distraction and slips, and her first thought is to slip into the sewer grate into the sewers, and the thugs, seeing this happen, give chase. April runs through the sewers and eventually just face plants into a wall, but luckily the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are there to save her, as they stereotypically beat up all these thugs and throw them into a single pile.
All while being watched by Shredder.
Somehow Shredder's able to... No cameras in the sewers. That he's able to see all this stuff.
He's got cameras in the sewers, but doesn't know where their lair is or that they're there. It's like...
We're not even sure that they're turtles. As we find out later in the episode, he's very... he knows the turtles exist, but he's not sure that they are turtles for some reason. I'm not even gonna. I'm not even able to even at the concept of mutant turtles, says April, as she faints and is taken to the turtle home, where she is served some very suspect sushi.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like, that sushi is great. By a giant mutated rat, in which she faints again. And the turtles dig into their extremely weird pizzas. Now, I have not seen this show in a long time. I knew they liked pizza. But those toppings, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, pepperoni and ice cream. I mean,
Pepper-
you're
Oh.
spicy and sweet right there. I mean, come on, dude. You know, that's
People
perfect,
freak
right?
out about pineapple and ham.
Just
But-
pineapple in general.
Pineapple
On
in
pizza.
general. Yeah.
And if you notice, each slice was almost different. There was different flavors on each slice there for each one.
Jelly beans and olives was another one, which, ew.
Salty and sweet. You know you like that chew.
With the
olives,
with
gross.
the tin taste of black olives.
I could only imagine the gas in that room.
Turtles. It's not that bad.
Turtles.
No.
They already stink.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
the
was
sewers.
I watched I like to watch food people versus food. It's YouTube. What the hell is it?
Man versus food?
No. Anyways, they were doing one of 80s cartoons, an episode where they were feeding people 80s cartoons, and Turtles was one of them. And they went through all these clips from the original TV series, and there was like 20,
Try not to eat.
there you go. Yeah,
Yes.
there was 20 different flavors that they showed, and I guarantee you there's more of different flavors of pizza that they made from that show. And I'm just like, oh my god, some of those sound grody, but yeah. PVF Chef. It was on PVF
Oh,
Chef.
that's
what it was.
right.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, sorry.
Anyways, so once they're able to get April conscious, Splinter then goes into the backstory of the Turtles as we get a flashback of the story of Hamato Yoshi training the Foot Clan and Oroku Saki attempting to usurp him as leader. Oroku Saki frames Hamato Yoshi and gets Hamato Yoshi banished from the Foot Clan, where he fled to New York City, where he had to live in the sewers.
To say with the worst stereotypical Japanese voiceovers possible. I'm just like, I listened to that, I'm just shaking my head.
In these sewers that he moved to because he couldn't get an apartment, like I kind of feel you there. Prices of real estate there in New York,
high.
But in the sewers, his only friends were rats and 4 baby turtles, and we see this kid with the 4 baby turtles in a jar trip on something and smash this glass over a sewer grate. And Hamato Yoshi's just chilling, very happy that this glass and water and turtles have landed on his head. We then montage away as we see the turtles one day playing around in glowing purple liquid that turns out to be a powerful mutagen. Now, anyone that has seen the movies or any other probably iteration of Turtles, that liquid is always green ooze, but it was purple this time.
Yes. Showed better in the animation. Shows better in the animation to have that contrast, because their skin's already a dark green. Right. So to do like a neon green on it wouldn't pop out as much as that purple does.
So we see the turtles then mutate into a more human-like creatures because the last thing that they came into contact was humans, and yet Hamato Yoshi also mutates into a giant rat because the last thing he touched, despite him just holding those turtles, was rats. We then go into a small montage of Splinter telling us how he got his name because he was breaking boards, so it's obvious. But as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, we know where the real name came from. He then begins to train the turtles in the way of the ninja, and we get the intros to each turtle and their signature weapons and why they have them. And for those not initiated, of course, those Ninja Turtle names are Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, and Raphael.
Yes, sir.
I won't list the weapons.
Boo.
Hey, boo.
List the weapons.
No. I said I won't do it. I won't do it.
Peer pressure.
We come out of the flashback, and April loses her mind and accuses the turtles of being the ninja thieves and wants to report them on the news. But the turtles hold her captive for apparently a day, according to the news crew. As we cut over to a quick scene with the news studio and make it very clear that April is extremely replaceable. April and the Turtles eventually are able to come to an agreement to get her story. In exchange for not outing them, they will help her get her story. We then cut to those same thugs talking to Shredder in his big swivel chair in his evil lair, and they're about to get their butts handed to them for getting their butts handed to them.
Didn't we get a fourth wall break there too? With April like saying who's going to believe in talking turtles anyway, and then look straight at the camera.
I think I actually missed that one.
Yeah.
April and the Turtles then go looking for evidence in the sewers, and wouldn't you know, they find a matchbook for Ninja Pizza. April and the Turtles go to investigate and frighten the hell out of this poor little old lady, and this part made me lose it, because this poor little old lady pushing a shopping cart that is freaked out by the Ninja Turtles, what does she do? She pulls out a submachine gun.
That old lady's packing heat with all that crime going on in New York.
Not
It's
even
New
like
York
a
grandma. She'll bust a cap in that ass.
Welcome to New York, fellas.
The Turtles rightfully run away scared out of their lives, and April goes into a men's store and grabs some disguises for them. And I noticed, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but that set of turtles was a set of turtles that you could buy as action figures, the disguised ones.
Right.
There's a vendor on the street that's holding up this really bad, like, mustache and glasses combo thing that you put on your face, and that was part of the toy that came back to me when I was watching it.
Did you notice the reference in there, what the outfit was from, and the reference that one of the turtles said? I don't remember which one it was. Did you catch it, Sean?
I don't think I did. I don't have it in my notes anymore.
So the line was, "Here's looking at you, kid."
Oh, yes.
So, which is a Casablanca reference. And if you go back and look at when that line was said, he's wearing a trench coat and the hat.
Fedora.
So it's that exact outfit, just darker, So they made a darker brown versus the lighter one that he had in the movie. So yeah, pop culture at its finest.
At its finest.
Like 30 years old, a movie from 30 years before the TV show came out.
I believe Casablanca was way older than that.
It was 50s, I believe. And this came out in the 80s. So that would have been 30 years.
Okay. Maybe it just feels older.
Sure.
Now that the Turtles have
2020.
donned their disguises, they bum around New York City and learn about 80s human culture as April explains it to him and gets their name wrong.
So just really quick, Casablanca was 1940.
Okay, so 40 years. That was close. Only decade.
And I was also right by saying it was older.
Yes.
Sean wins.
Yay, Sean wins. Okay, so the gang finds the Ninja Pizza building next to the Ninja Dentist, the Ninja Laundry Service, and I didn't write down the fourth one, but this block of buildings that are all just ninja named.
Ninja Dentist. Oh.
Yeah.
Imagine
the
that
franchise.
root canal. Imagine that root canal with a sigh.
It's like Costco branding.
Yeah.
Shredder, we can then cut to a scene of Shredder as he blames himself for April getting close to his operation. And keep in mind, we just cut away to all these businesses, starting with Ninja. He's so secretive.
Yeah.
Like, how would anyone ever know with Ninja Pizza?
Just a gimmick.
Just a gimmick of just I guess all four of these buildings have the same owner. So the Ninja Turtles sit down and order their pizza, thinking everything's fine with these guys behind the counter all dressed as ninjas and using weapons as ninjas to cook pizza. And I don't know about you guys, but the first thing that came to mind is like, this has got to be a minimum wage job, like cooking pizzas. And they are committed.
Yeah.
They're wearing the masks. They're using swords to cut bread and cheese. So April,
the whole shtick.
But
The
they
whole
don't
shtick
care. They're
with the
getting free
shtick,
food.
then
yeah,
why are you gonna go to anywhere? You could go any Joe Schmo pizza place.
Yeah, I'd love to go to
Here.
Ninja Pizza and see that.
yeah. So April wanders off as the turtles sit down and eat their, again, disgusting pizzas.
One sashimi pizza
Yeah.
and 3 whipped cream pizzas. Just like, what the?
So April wanders off and finds this security firm that's actually selling their security services to tech companies in order as to wipe them out. And we get to see our first look at the foot soldiers in their gangly, form, wearing little hats, the security hats that is fooling nobody. And she wanders off to go and report the news on a payphone. A payphone, kids, is what we used before cell phones.
Oh, that's
It's
what
true.
that was.
That's what that was.
You had to put money in the slot and dial. Remember a phone number.
Yeah.
Or
Or
dial collect and pray someone will pay for the charges. And
wondering where the touch screen and the face unlock was.
Get out of here.
yeah, baby.
So the turtles discover that April has been kidnapped by deducing the clues of everything on the ground, including her chewed gum.
Nice.
Yeah, fantastic. And they see that her purse is hanging over the edge of the building. So they run up to the building and find April just sitting in a chair, tied to it, as all of these foot soldiers come out and spring their trap. The fight starts, and the turtles discover quickly that the foot are robots. Now, I'm pretty sure that the reason in the comics and every iteration before and after, the foot are always guys in the suits. Right. Now, but because this is a kid's show and there's going to be some murdering happening, it's a lot easier if they're robots.
Right.
So the robots are discovered and the foot and the turtles do battle. The turtles, again, they get up. This insane thing happens where there's this giant wall, very secure looking. All 4 turtles rush up to it and press themselves up against it, and they're able to make the wall tumble onto the foot soldiers on the other side. So the remaining foot soldiers all bolt. They run across the street, jumping and leaping with their robot powers, and the turtles follow, using a rope and a katana blade. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, in that first fight scene, they had an awesome shot of Michelangelo in there jumping out of his costume, and it was just like, that's a prime image that's just burnt into my brain because it was so well done. I'm just like, yes, when I see that, because it's like, cool stuff's about to happen. So
it's about to go down.
So I think it was that same fight where Michelangelo is coming down and this iconic look where he's just spinning both nunchucks as he has one arm down, one arm raised. That's the one for me. That's a good. That's one that sticks with me. So the turtles, they board this building across the street. They get inside. We cut over to Shredder, who's watching them this whole time. They discover that Shredder's watching them, and Shredder's like, the turtles must not discover the Technodrome. So what does he do to prevent them from discovering the Technodrome? Gets on the PA and he announces to everyone in the building, everyone get to the Technodrome. And of course the turtles are like, what the hell's a Technodrome? Now, again, toys being sold. I had my most prized toy in my collection was the Technodrome. This massive, massive toy. I think I got it for my birthday or Christmas one year. It was like the big, big gift. And it had a lot of moving parts and pieces. And I remember there was for those that don't know, it's this big, giant spherical thing on like
wheels,
threads,
Tracks.
Tracks.
Like thread tracks. Yeah.
And there's a giant eyeball at the top of it that looks around and scans and does stuff. And on the toy, you would push a button. You would like drop down the thing in front of it and push a button, and the eyeball would roll down the thing like a ramp and fly out, and it's supposed to hit the Ninja Turtles and knock them all down. That thing was what got lost first.
That doesn't surprise me. I had a lot of the toys too. Never had a Technodrome because it was my mom didn't want to have something that big in my closet in the house.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of figures, bad guys. I had even the ones with the ooze. Do you remember the little ooze containers you could buy that you're supposed to dump over them? And it was like the worst version of Silly Putty ever. So.
And some quick context, this ran until November of 96. So Bubby still qualified.
9 years.
Yeah.
9 years. Mm-hmm.
And Shredder was played by the great late
James
Avery.
Yes.
Who played Uncle Phil's
father.
On Fresh Prince.
Excuse me. Yes.
Yeah. He was like a
father.
He was a father figure for sure.
Yeah. He was another TV dad.
He was one of the great ones. He was one of the great ones.
Yeah. Gone too soon.
Definitely. So after this announcement, we see the turtles give chase to the remaining foot soldiers as they run through the building. The foot soldiers turn a lever and all of the pipes burst in this building. That begins to then flood. This has to be 12-story building. It starts flooding every floor like windows don't exist.
Imagine the water bill. I mean, come on. That's just, I
mean,
not to mention the black mold afterwards.
Damage the street. Flooding.
Trust me, we're not going to need to worry about the black mold because wait till you see what happens. The entire building is flooding level by level by level. So instead of going down, they've got to run upstairs to the roof and they pull the katana blade out of the roof, jump away just as the building explodes from the water and turns into a geyser. So no black mold to worry about. Problem solved.
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it. Cartoon logic, man. We then cut back to the turtle home HQ, where Splinter confirms that the foot uniforms that they pulled off the robots are indeed that of the stormtroopers of the foot, and they must be led by Oroku Saki. The turtles then vow to hunt down Oroku Saki as credits roll right before they eat yet another very gross pizza of bananas and sausage.
Hey, at least there's no candy on it this time. It's healthier. You know, I mean...
As we're watching this, my daughter Jessica is sitting there with me, and they look at me and they go, is bananas on pizza really a thing?
No.
No way.
It
No way.
can be today.
Pizza.
So, Sean, I have a delivery heading to your house right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Gross. But that's it. That is our episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, episode 1, Turtle Tracks from 1987. What did you
Nice.
guys think? I did a lot of talking
Cody, what'd you think?
I mean, I could definitely see the appeal. The absolute campiness. Best that I could compare it to, as far as cartoony wise, as like Looney Tunes campiness with everything that was going on, but more violent and more absurd. So watching this was just a complete, pardon the pun, shell shock.
Nice.
But I enjoyed it as someone that did. It's not my favorite franchise, but I could see the appeal behind it for sure.
And to all of our listeners out there, I don't know if we've actually mentioned this on the podcast, but before we started doing this, we each of us wrote down a list of all of our favorite TV shows and the ones that we wanted to talk about, and we listed off our top 5. Aaron, Jamal, and myself all put Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on our list. That's how important it was to all of us.
Yep.
I am the lucky one that I got to sit and talk about it today. But Jamal, what did you think about rewatching this episode of Ninja Turtles?
Certainly. So I have, and I'm sure you guys have, I don't know, but I have the DVD collection of all seasons. But it's on Paramount Plus, so I can just watch it whenever. It's nostalgia for sure. Eating my cereal and that theme music every time, and you just can't get old. Like it never get old. It's just like Power Rangers. Anything that obviously that we rewatch or rewind, they're rewindable for a reason. And I just hope we can get more movies, but I hope and pray they go back to the Jim Henson Company, because his legacy is still alive. I mean, his company is still there. I'm not really with the CGI, and I think the stunt actors deserve more, and I think we can get a good movie if they just put their minds to it.
What do you think, Aaron?
Well, I love this series. That's why it's on my list. It's one of the most influential, most rewatched, most shows that it's one of the first shows I ever showed my kids when they were able to start watching some of these things. When it was finally time for them to be able to sit down and watch something a little bit more mature.
Sure. Yeah.
It was one of the first ones that they did. This isn't their first time watching it with me, and I did have them watch it with me again. And I'll go over that here in a second. But yeah, I love this series. I own all the DVDs for it. We have a Paramount Plus membership for other reasons, and then finding out that it was on there, was like, oh, cool. And then it played, and then I had to sit through commercials because I'm too cheap on Paramount Plus. It's not, I don't watch it enough to not take the commercials off. It's like it's just, we don't use it that much. It was really just mostly for my Star Trek stuff. But
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. So, but I loved it. There were some things, obviously in it that are always real campy and funny. One thing that I wanted to mention that I noticed, and I never noticed it before, is when they're first fighting and they go through and they see something and it says, "Hey, this was made by Acme."
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? Is this in the same universe as Looney Tunes? I'm like, could we have a Bugs Bunny Ninja Turtles crossover with Daffy Duck and Porky Pig having to save his bacon or something? I mean, it would be,
so you're talking about
great.
A Space Jam Ninja Turtles or Ninja Turtles Space Looney Tunes?
Ninja Turtles Looney Tunes. The Space Jam is its own thing. I don't recognize the new one, only the Michael Jordan one.
Yeah.
because you can't have. There's no two goats. There's only one, and that's a different podcast altogether.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, no, Looney Tunes and Ninja Turtles. I would love to see if Eastman and Laird would love to have them, or maybe just have just this one series, because they've done things with this series afterwards. They had a movie after the second series ended, the first TMNT series in early 2000 that ended. They made a movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Forever, which brought the 80s one back, and it brought the first animated version of the original Turtles from the comics into it, to bring in their first the first multiverse movie. I won't say multiverse ever, because Spider-Man did that in that. So for cartoons, Spider-Man was the first one that had a multiverse deal. Anyways, but yeah, it was the first Turtleverse crossover that was done, and it was great seeing them. They didn't have all the same voices, but some of them came back. But yeah, I mean, I love the series. It's
definitely great.
It's great.
Well,
fun first episode. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Cody?
I was just gonna say, to add to your multiverse thing, there is a video game out there from Warner Brothers called Multiverse, which is basically their version of Smash Brothers that has the Looney Tunes. It has Velma and Shaggy versus like all these Warner Brother franchises fighting each other.
Is the Ninja Turtles in it?
I believe they are.
Oh, we got to find out.
Remember.
We got to find out. Yeah, someone Google search that real quick. I'm gonna go over what my kids thought, because
what they think.
I watched it with Elaine and Andrew, and they love the theme song. They're sitting there bopping along to it. They love the theme. Who can't not love that theme song? It's awesome. Elaine's favorite parts were them helping April, saving April. Andrew loved all the fight scenes, especially with Mikey swinging stuff around, Leo being able to chop people up because they're robots. So he's able to actually do that. So it was but and then after the end, when the end credits were coming on, they were singing the lyrics, even though there was no lyrics going on with it. So it was definitely a proud nerd dad moment.
Yes.
So but yeah, they really enjoyed it. So
awesome.
They want to watch more of it, and I'm like, sure. Let's kick back. The first season is only 5 episodes. Let's go through it. Come on.
Sit down and order some pizza.
Yep. So Multiverses does not have Ninja Turtles in it. However, they continuously keep announcing characters. So it is very possible that they may be added later on, because they just recently added Jason and I forget who the
Jason?
Friday the 13th?
Oh, wow. Yes. Okay.
And Gizmo and Stripe as well.
But I'll keep you guys updated, of course, on all things Ninja Turtles if we hear anything, and happy to do a show about it. But that's our show for today. Cody, do you want to do our
Let's do one more announcement.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We close it out.
Sean, do you want to give that announcement, please?
Oh no, that was Cody.
All right, Aaron.
That was me. Yeah, that was me doing this one. Yeah.
Yes.
So I swear, people, we had this written down somewhere along the way.
Talking
all right,
too much about pizza and disgusting toppings.
So, all right. So that code for Drawn to Comics. Since this episode is coming out in July, there will be a new deal for the month of July for our code, which will still be RNR Pod. So you have to give them that code of RNR Pod, and that will get you a 10% off your total purchase of regular comics, back comics, just stuff that isn't specially marked with their yellow. Usually it's a yellow highlighter. That's the stuff for consignment. They don't do any discounts on their consignment stuff because it's other people's products that they're selling for them. So go on in there, Drawn to Comics, 59th Avenue in Glendale. Give them that code of RNR Pod to get 10% off your total purchase.
Thank you so much, Aaron. And please remember to hit like and subscribe and follow.
Yes.
We're on Twitter, Instagram, and what are the other ones, Cody?
The talk.
TikTok, on
Bookface.
YouTube, on Facebook,
Podbean.
on Podbean, on Twitch as well, which we are currently live streaming from as well.
And there you go. And do you want to take us out, please?
Yes. So good night, folks. Until next time, we hit rewind.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Adios.
Good night.